Hi, and Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh everyone. My name is Darwish. I'm from the ninth grade, and today I will be presenting my solution for the problem that I'm going to discuss today, which is the moist converter system. I'll tell you later. Every solution or invention must be based on a problem. So what is the problem that I'm going to be solving? The problem is that there are approximately 2 billion people who have become the victims of water scarcity across the globe. So are you still wondering what does it mean by water scarcity? Water scarcity is a situation in which people are unable to access clean water for sanitation and drinking. This is the situation that we wouldn't want it to happen to us in our daily life. They also feel the same way. Water scarcity happens due to many terrible things such as overuse of water, the rapid growth of agriculture, water pollution, and global warming. So next, we are going to be talking about the importance of water in our daily life and why we should appreciate them. Firstly, water is considered to be one of the most important substances on the earth. Why? The reason is that everything that lives on earth cannot survive without water, from plants, animals to humans. And in fact, only about 3% of Earth's water is fresh water. Of that, only about 1.2% can be used as drinking water. The rest is locked up in glaciers, ice caps, or buried deep in the ground. So that is why it is important to appreciate the water that we have. So where does this problem occur? This problem seems to occur in the countries where they are at the equator line, which means the line that separates the Earth's northern and southern hemispheres. And why is that? It is because they are the closest to the sun. The sun evaporates the water and leaves them a little amount of water and a large amount of heat. As you can see, it mostly occurs in these four different regions as you can see. Asia, somewhere in Middle East, in Africa, it is affected badly, and some parts in South America. My vision is to design and develop a system that converts the moisture from the soil to fresh, clean, and pure water. I want to make it simple yet effective. So after this, people will be able to access clean water for their daily sanitation and drinking. And they do not have to walk miles away every day just to get water. So I know that most of you now will be wondering, how does the system functions? So firstly, I'm going to be using the concept of evaporation and condensation. I'll tell you how. As you can see in the picture, we have the sun and the water vapor. What can you guess from that? That means the sun is evaporating the moisture from the soil, turning it into water vapor. And as you can see, there's a plastic sheet there. And what the plastic sheet does is trap the water vapor that is going to be evaporated. After trapping the water vapor will eventually condense on the plastic sheet surface and drips into the tank. And secondly, we have the solar panel, the capacitor, and the water pump. I'll tell you one by one after this. So I'm going to tell you how evaporation and condensation works, the principle of this system. So it is pretty simple actually. And first, evaporation is the process of liquid changing into gas, and condensation is the process of gas changing into liquid. As you can see, the sun evaporates the moisture from the soil, which is liquid, and changing it into gas, and the water vapor is trapped on the plastic sheet, and condensation happens with changing the gas into liquid. So just now I just told you how the system functions, and now let's talk about the design. So as you can see here, this is a 3D model that I designed to visualize the system. And we are going to go through one by one on the components in the system. And in fact, this is the animation of the system so that you have better perspective on the system. So this is a clearer view of it, a transparent one, so that you can see what is inside the system itself. So here are some pictures that I took from the software that I use for 3D modeling or design. Okay, so now I'm going to be explaining all the functions of every single component in the system and its dimensions. So let's go right into it. So we got here the base, and this is where all the systems components will be based on. As you can see, there is this part where it is dug out. And why is that? It is because we have to get to the soil with enough moisture in order for the whole system to work. So the dimensions is 10 meters in length, 5 meters in width, 2.5 meters in for the trench depth, and for the trenches length we got 3.5 meters. Okay, so let's move to another component, which is the plastic sheets. The plastic sheets function as the trapper, as I can say. Why? It is because the function of plastic sheets is to trap water vapor that is evaporated from the soil. The water vapor will eventually condense into liquid on the surface of the plastic sheets. From that, we can get fresh, pure, and clean water to drink and use. So it is 7 meters in width and 10 meters in length. And for the thickness of the plastic sheets, it's 0.5 meters, centimeters. So next is the water tank. Wait, sorry. Okay. Okay, next is the water tank. Its function is to collect water that is on the surface of the plastic sheets. We have the dimensions here. It is approximately to be 2.5 meters in diameter and 2 meters in height. The materials used will be clay. So why clay? It is because it is easy to obtain, maintain, and in fact it is cheaper. It also has the properties of cooling. Okay, so let's move to another component, which is the main energy sources for this system. This is a solar panel. It uses light energy to convert it into electricity. Its function is to power up the water pump and charge the capacitor. It is a medium-sized solar panel with the length of 2.3 meters and the width of 1.6 meters. So I said just now about a capacitor, and this is what we call a capacitor. What is a capacitor? A capacitor is a device that stores electrical energy in an electric field. It works like a lithium battery like in our mobile devices, which we can charge it. So this capacitor is charged by the solar panel so that people can collect water at night. And yes, let's move to the next component, and we got here the water pump. The water pump is powered by the solar and the capacitor. What does the water pump do? The water pump is to pump the water from the tank up to the pipe so that people can collect the water they need. And yeah, sorry. And here are the final component, and the water pipe. It is so that people can collect the water they need to use. And you got here the white tap pointed, and this white tap is to control the flow of the water. So here are the dimensions for each component that is possible to count its dimensions. I would like to highlight that this dimension is only an estimation. So we have talked about everything basically, but there is something that we almost forgot. What are these? What are the disadvantages and advantages of this system? The advantage is it only uses renewable energy, which makes it clean and it won't cause any types of pollution. And this system uses a simple mechanism that is easy to install. And this system doesn't require any professionals to install them. And we can get pure and clean water so that people can use it for daily usage. It is also doesn't require many complex components, and in fact, it is a cheaper alternative to other solutions. So we have talked about the advantages. What about the disadvantages? The disadvantages are it takes time to collect water. Why? Because it depends on the soil humidity or moisture. And yes, so we have come to an end of our presentation. As for the summary, I believe that this invention could solve the problem of people around the world that is affected by this issue. This is one of the contributions to future technology. I hope that my invention could be used all over the world. Yes, so this is the end of this presentation. I hope this presentation was clear and easy to understand. Assalamualaikum and thank you for paying attention.